Previously on Unbalanced Encounters.
You see these myconids. In the darkness, you see their silhouettes rip to pieces, and then the blood vines congeal into two myconid-shaped blood vine golems. And behind them, 8 more.
I'm going to enter into the armor, and then I'm going to start trying to flop the armor over to, like, the piles of junk.
Bartleby pops open Reevesy's wallet, and it's just full of bathhouse tokens.
Hell yeah!
Let's go! Yeah.
Make it rain!
Emily, I need you to roll a d20 for Jonathan. I want to be clear, if you roll less than a 14, the room that you are currently in sinks into the nether.
12.
You stumble back into an endless expanse of nothing.
How can I pass through these ghosts?
If you can get the bones into the afterlife, so go with the ghosts.
I was like, oh, I like this new version.
That's gotta be in an episode.
I'll put it in this one.
I was just about to say, can we work with Sarah to have like a Sphinx version?
I mean, it's Sappho's arc, so I feel like that it has to do that.
All right, hold on. I'm just writing a little note down. Sphinx version. We're going to get you into the studio. This is going to be fucking...
I mean, they're just like...
Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Unbalanced Encounters. How you doing, everybody? We're in a silly, goofy mood, huh?
Hey. Hi.
Hello.
Doing good.
Hello.
Beep boop.
Oh yeah, Cinder's back in robot mode, huh? We're excited.
He's flailing.
We're
Feeling
call
it.
it
He's
a
feeling
robot.
himself. Well, all right,
I'm not-
that's fair.
Yeah.
Flesh golem.
Ew. What would you like to be called? God?
Yeah. What's
you
cards?
actually like?
What's cards ending in here?
Call me whatever you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah.
All right.
And scene. That's it, everybody. We've had a great time on
Right.
Unbalanced Encounters.
Thanks,
We've been
bye.
working on this the whole time. We're logging
never-
off. Bye.
We're never gonna get better than what just happened right then and there.
That's the zenith of this
That's
show.
I mean, it's honestly.
That's our peak, guys.
It's everyone's peak, let's be honest. Everybody who's out there kind of on the stage, they're working up to it. They're just looking for the moment, right? They're just
waiting for it.
searching. They're trying to find, they're trying to work to that pinnacle. We peaked in, I don't know, the 50s or whatever that joke, the 30s, whatever that joke hit for the first time. That was comedy peak, and we've just been chasing that high.
Sure.
In the 50s?
I don't fucking know when that joke
I was
started.
about to say.
What
I
joke?
don't know about that.
A late for dinner joke.
That's not a joke. This is how I feel about being called.
That was deadly serious.
What about lunch?
I don't eat lunch.
All right, there you go.
Thoughts on breakfast?
What's that?
Okay.
What about second breakfast?
Oh, yeah, I love
Second
second
breakfast.
breakfast. That's
Yeah,
pretty
there it
good.
is.
Yeah.
There
Don't call
it
me
is.
late for that either.
Love the implications of only second breakfast. You have to
That's when the
intentionally
mimosas
skip
come
a
out.
meal. You have to intentionally skip a meal.
Mimosas.
Yeah, because first breakfast is the bad one.
Don't
Yeah,
call
right.
me late for mimosas. I tell you. All right, let's start.
Hey, let's start playing D&D, everybody. Let's start playing D&D. Hey, June.
Previously, we
Hey, June.
Oh no.
You are standing at the edge of a rent hole that will drop you into the barren afterlife of the Eastern Hills. You are the last person in this room. Harissa and Matron have vanished, disappeared to go attempt to deal with the remaining infection still within Jonathan. Isaac, Guard, and all of your little guys have already jumped down into the nether and vanished. You hear more myconid golems fall onto the dais where the seed of Luna was until very recently, not far away from you, is a shambling mound of blood vines.
Geronimo! And she's gonna jump into the hole. I'll cast Featherfall if I need to.
You're not going to need to. Because although it does feel like this fall takes longer than maybe it should, you do eventually land gently on an endless expanse of dim purple ground. And you glance up and you can see blood vines knotting themselves together. And as they do, one over the other, they pull themselves out of existence and the seam closes.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Can I ask a weird thing?
Yeah.
Can I do a weird thing? I've been like playing with this whole bond thing to sense my friend, try to sense my friends sometimes. Can I see Saphra's bond through this? Like now that hole is gone, can I see any connection to where she was?
No. But if you go ahead and give me an insight check, you might get a little more information off of that.
11.
As you look up and try to clear your mind and focus on the bond that you have with Saphra, hoping beyond hope that there will be that blue thread to tie you to her through the vast nothingness that is the ceiling of this space. It's not there. And then you turn around and in place, and you notice that no one else is here either.
What? Guards bond?
You are alone, and all of the bond is missing too. But you are good at maintaining your composure in new and unknown situations. So you breathe. You see that there is a cliff.
I'll go to the edge of the cliff and kind of squat down and peer over.
As you look over into the chasm beneath you, I actually can't tell you what you see. You have to tell me what you see. What does the Fortress of June's mind look like?
It is the canopies of the redwoods, giant redwood trees, and huge ferns, and she feels very comfortable.
You are just far enough away that you probably couldn't jump to the nearest bough, but that is how tall these trees tower over this space. And you feel something calling to you inside of those trees. And you sort of look around for a moment and you see that there is a path down this cliff. There is a tight and steep switchback that leads to the ground.
She's gonna turn and look over her shoulder, make sure that she is truly, truly alone. And then she's gonna take to those switchbacks, but she's gonna jump from one switchback to the next.
You jump and land. And by about the third leap, you land and your footing slips a little bit and you catch yourself expertly, but it's enough to give you pause to refocus on your breathing. You don't want to slip. And as you take that moment, you hear and I would like to tell you what they say, but I have to ask you first. When June thinks of guilt, who does she think of?
She thinks of her dad.
That's very good, darling. You've become quite talented.
Can I see him?
You turn and he's sitting there on a stump. And at first glance, he looks just like you remember him.
She'll kind of catch herself for a second. Her breath kind of whooshes out of her. And then she kind of remembers that they're in a weird fucking place. And she'll point her staff, get into a stance, and Who are you?
Sweetie. It's me.
No. The last time I heard your voice, it was coming out of a weird tree, a weird blood tree. So I'm not trusting whatever the fuck you are.
Are you sure this is how you want to say goodbye to me again? You might not get another chance.
She'll start shaking and gripping the staff, her just white knuckling this thing. How fucking dare you?
And with that, we're going to move to our next player.
I don't like this game, guys. I don't like this game. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of dead parents talking shit. I
thought we were past this, Patrick.
We will never be past it.
Why can't y'all just be like me and Guard and have good, happy, alive
speaking of
parents?
Oh.
Isaac, you are the first one to jump through the hole. And you land. No one lands behind you.
I feel like the directions were clear. Giant hole, ominous. It's... God!
The portal is gone.
Oh. Well, that ain't good. How's my arm looking?
You glance down at your arm, and the veins that had burst from your skin to tangle themselves around the sword relax and withdraw back into your hand.
It's something I definitely gotta get figured out sooner than later. Hello? Anybody?
Isaac, I am going to ask you the exact same question. When you think of guilt, who do you think of?
I believe Isaac is always thinking of guilt. He is always thinking of things that happen that shouldn't have and what he could have done better. And as Isaac's walking through here, he looks up and he sees the individual. He goes, well. If it isn't my arch nemesis. And he's staring at himself.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Damn, that's poetic.
You and I have been doing a thing this whole time, huh? Feel like we just ain't been on the same page for the last couple of months, I guess it's been.
You see, one of us is trying to be better, and the other one thinks that what we've been doing has been working just fine. But if you haven't realized, everything's falling apart around us.
What the hell business is that of ours?
Do you want to be all alone again?
And like, we got a lot of choice. It's gonna happen one way or the other. We might as well be ready for it.
He walks up closer to him and he just smiles. There's always a choice. And he's gonna hug himself.
And this Isaac returns the hug. Alright, well, listen, I got a little bit of time to try to talk you out of it. Take a walk with me.
Okay, we going this way, we going the other way.
Down there. And he gestures over the lip of the cliff that you find yourself standing on. And I have a similar question for Isaac. What does the fortress of his mind look like?
It's what people assume Elysium looks like. It's just super gaudy and gorgeous and kind of like the bathhouse, just spa areas all over the place. But it's mostly...
I'm imagining a lot of columns.
Mm-hmm. But remember, it is Isaac's mind, so it's also a bunch of pictures and statues of Isaac, just in heroic and gorgeous.
Oh my god,
poses.
That's pretty great, actually. God damn.
Oh.
Glorious.
Been wanting to show you this place, huh?
It's mighty nice. Oh, a kimono. Kind of something.
There's just a bunch hanging up.
Why the hell are you doing this, man? What, do you think you're some kind of hero?
You know, it's strange how I kind of went in a circle on all this. At first, I thought I was doing this because I was too selfish. And I should do it for Dale. And I was making all these choices because I wanted to make sure that whatever he left behind was taken care of. But then I thought I was doing it for just making the world better than what I left it.
That's a laugh.
It is because, you know, we know each other.
Pretty damn well, I'd say.
So then I realized I'm just doing it for me.
His eyes narrow. The hell do you mean you're doing it for you?
Don't get me wrong. I still am doing it to make the world a better place, but that's because I want to do that. I'm making sure that June and Sappher and God have a good life after I'm gone because I want that. It just so happens that the things I want now are better for others than just for me.
I see. And what happens when they inevitably betray and or leave you?
I don't think I'm gonna be upset about it because I got to do the thing I wanted to do. I have no control over their choices.
You see a vein at this Isaac's temple throb and almost pull away from the skin just a little.
What's going on here?
What do you mean? We're walking down to the best place on earth.
All right. Pop quiz. Who is the most gorgeous woman in the world?
All right. Isaac, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna slap himself.
That is a 23.
You feel something reach into the back of your mind, trying to get the answer to your question. And your gaze diverts momentarily as you feel the little tug, shrug it off, and then you glance back, and in the place of this other Isaac is a vine golem. Isaac Ekströmer, I hate you so fucking much.
Can't bullshit a bullshitter. Thought we had this conversation.
You're destined to fail, you know this?
And if you were listening to our conversation, that's okay. But at least I tried.
The audacity you have to wield the power, our power, and to throw it away on idle idealism.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what most of them words mean that you're saying, but I'm gonna keep having this very smart conversation with you and just saying, I don't like you.
And he, in that kind of very Studio Ghibli way, like, gets really big as he's growling, right? Like, you see these blood vines kind of tendril up and flame up off of him. He explodes in size and then shrinks back down, and you can see sort of curling crimson smoke from where his nostrils would be. Isaac Ekströmer, you must be the dumbest blood warden to have ever existed. And he disappears into the ground.
Isaac looks at one of the many statues of himself in this area, and for the first time, just nods his head and he smiles.
As you look at the statues of yourself, and you look at these big Corinthian columns, big pools, it is now all made of bone and blood. And yet something still calls to you in that space. A voice much older than the one with which you were just parlaying.
I look around, make sure I'm the only one here.
You are?
Oh, what the hell? And he walks towards the ominous voice.
And we cut!
I, for a second, thought you were going to say you look around and it's now made out of cardboard and it's all just like props and stuff, you know, like on a set. That would have been so fun.
That would have been funny.
But I do like blood and bone. That's
Isaac
also very
calls to his assistant. Are we done? Okay.
He goes and sits on the chair,
Lisa.
you know, like off screen.
Lisa, you got my tea? Oh, bless you, darling. Thank you so much.
I wanted all green M&Ms. Green M&Ms.
Isaac goes and sits in one of those little director chairs that's got Isaac like handwritten on the back of it.
Just like
it's not his official chair. June just wrote it there for him.
Yeah. Mr. Spinks has one of the director's hats on.
And one of those,
the
like, you know, like the
megaphone.
old school megaphone. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut! Yeah. Good job, Isaac. Good job. That's a wrap, everybody.
I was really feeling it at that scene. I was feeling
Spinks,
it. Right there.
Spinks, it's not a wrap. We have to shoot guard.
Oh, sorry. Next scene. Everybody get ready.
Ooh, can I do
Lights.
the clapper this time?
Okay, you can do the clapper. That's
Does
fine.
that mean I have to make another chair for guard?
A big one.
All right, 3, 2.
Guard, you land in the nether that is getting to feel a little familiar to you. It's a little repetitive at this point. You've been here for at least 6 hours over the course of your life, probably more.
I would say it's not repetitive so much as it is now has just become somewhat familiar.
Yeah, I think that's right. What's a little less familiar is that no one else seems to jump in behind you, and as you pretty quickly look around, you realize that you don't see Isaac, who jumped in ahead of you. What you do see is Pancakes, who is sitting at the edge of a cliff.
Do I have the egg?
You do.
I'll walk over to the edge of the cliff, put the egg down, sit down next to Pancake.
Hello, guard.
Hello, Pancake. Where are we?
The afterlife of the Eastern Hills.
Why are we here?
I was brought here by the descent of Jonathan. The reliquary was unfortunately plunged into the nether. I do not know why you are here.
Do you know how to get out?
No.
What are you looking at?
The building. I can't quite make it out at the floor of the chasm, but I believe it to be important to the witness.
Do you need to be with the reliquary?
Yes.
Do you know where it is in this space?
No.
Would you like to come look for it with me?
Pancakes kind of turns and looks around. Why not?
Help me with this. And then I'm going to lift the egg and put one hand on the side of the cliff and just jump off and drag my way down to go to the building and hope Pancake comes with me.
I have a question for you, guard.
Mm-hmm.
This building starts to come into focus as you slide down the wall. What does it look like?
It just looks like a giant cement cube.
One guard-sized hole in the front.
Accurate.
It's like the shape of it too, with a little cutout for his head.
Yeah, it's like a giant stone cube, like a spaceship out of Dune.
Yeah, all right. I love that. That's disquieting. It's fantastic. You begin to slide down. I think that there is a point fairly early in your slide where you realize that Pancakes has not kind of caught up to you. So you kind of hang for a second. Pancakes like scrambles down, kind of runs up and over your head and onto the seed. And then you let go and finish your descent into this chasm. And as you land and hoist the seed kind of into a more stable position and turn, you see that there is someone standing guard at the entrance to this structure. Who does guard think of when guard thinks of guilt?
Guard sees a crowd of maybe like 3,000 people and animals. He sees every single creature he has killed.
A single body, indistinct and indiscernible, splits, morphs and abstracts until a crowd comes into focus. Things in this space are not what they are as what they could be. And this entity stares you down, and one voice from the crowd pipes up and says, "You never asked why."
I'm not sure. I don't know if he would say anything. Like, sorry, I think why I'm having a hard time with this is because I don't think Guard feels super hazy in the way that everyone else does right now. I feel like Guard feels really grounded. He's in his body. Like maybe if he was still feeling hazy, he would be like, "Oh, here, let's have an introspective moment."
Sure.
But he kind of already had that.
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable. As you realize that this is kind of a meaningless moment for you. It's almost as if someone is superimposing what Guard should feel guilty about onto Guard.
I think Guard will look to this crowd. Who are you to ask?
I'm curious, what is his stance? What's his body language looking like in this moment?
I think kind of aggressive. Like, Guard has become a more understanding creature, but part of that has been a sort of acceptance that he is not really a person. So the fact that he doesn't need to answer to people, basically, is sort of how he feels in this moment. Like, if he needs to go into, like, he feels like Guard's looking around, he knows he's in la la nonsense dreamland. He doesn't need to take any of this seriously.
Yeah.
And he also knows that at the end of the day, he is an ancient, eternal being, and the machinations of his choices, this is a little bit fucked up, but as much as Guard loves people, he also knows that he doesn't necessarily need to answer to them.
I think that's entirely reasonable, and I think that you have sort of Matron's shock echoing in your head around the idea that humans gave you an objective, that was a thing that was a deep perversion of the natural order. You don't need to answer to people. You shouldn't even really be able to answer to people at their behest. And as you wrestle with this, and you say, "Who are you to ask?" the entire crowd collapses into one humanoid vine golem.
Honestly, I didn't really think that was going to work.
It was worth a shot.
I have seen what happens to those I cut down, and they are not trapped in some turmoil. They move on.
This is true. For now.
Why are you doing this?
Because I have a vision for a better world.
Your vision is short-sighted and naive.
It is anything but short-sighted, my friend. Mortality is short-sighted. Life is short-sighted.
Do you know what you sound like? You sound like a very scared little person that has no idea what exists beyond mortality. You cannot claim to be building something that you do not understand.
An impudent pain in my side.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna look at Pancake. Pancake, how old are you?
I have been in this form for 507 years.
And then I'm gonna look back to the blood thing. I think he's older than you. Is that true?
You can give me an insight check, but you aren't going to get a verbal answer to that question.
16?
You're not getting a verbal answer to that question because you're absolutely fucking right. And it is just the shock on this thing's kind of non-face is visible, which is not an easy thing to do.
My little glow behind my tiger eye is going to soften a little bit, and my head's going to tilt, and I'm going to step forward in front of the egg and in front of Pancake. Are you... Take out my axe and point it. The Emperor's Czar?
You still have no idea, do you?
I think I'm starting to get one, and I'm going to swing my axe down on it.
As your axe would connect, the vines fall to pieces and turn to ash on the ground.
Dang it.
You are young, and you are foolish, and we are going to kill you.
Well, that was unusual.
Yes. I think that was the Emperor's Czar.
Perhaps. I do not know what an empressar is.
An angry child. Let's go into my mind palace that's shaped like a cube.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna have Pancakes roll a history roll. Pancakes gets +10 to history checks. Actually, as a matter of fact, Cinder, I'm gonna ask you to roll the d20 for me. Pancakes had a thought. I want to see if Pancakes connects the thought.
That's a good. I got a 17 on the die.
+10 is a 27. I wanted a 25 on this. Pancakes, as you're kind of lifting him up to take him inside, says, "There is something reminiscent about those vines. I seem to recall being manipulated by them approximately 100 years ago."
Do you remember who activated them?
I do not know their name, but they referred to their leader as High Scepter.
Not the Emperor then, but one of their minions. Pancake, you might not understand, but learning that that blood golem thing is probably just some guy is a pretty big deal. I'm basically an amazing detective.
I am pleased to be of service. Shall we find the relics?
Yeah, and then let's get out of here.
I agree. And you walk inside and we cut.
Wisest of us all, guard.
As soon as we see you, I'm just gonna scream that at you guys. The blood golem's just some fucking dude. It's not anything. We can kill it. It's not a god even. It's younger than Pancake.
He's just a little bitch.
Harissa.
Hello.
Matron unfolds a pocket of reality and drops you into the dark. All right. We're here.
Okay, I will trust you on that. I can't see a thing. And she's going to just, with a sort of motion of her hand, Sphinx is just going to just appear next to her. Oh, over here. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, good. Right. So, we need to find these tumors and deal with them as quickly as we can before Jonathan sinks again.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have a lot of time on that front.
Well, we will just have to do what we can. Matron, you know this space better than anybody. You've been here a long time. I need you to find them. If you can get high, go above, climb walls, whatever you need to do, just stay out of sight, try and find them, and blast the absolute shit out of them, please. I'll do what I can on the ground to keep them busy.
You want me to go find the infection sites and destroy them?
Yes.
While you, the blind mortal woman,
Yes.
deal with a battalion of irate Taniyn ghosts.
Listen, I know it sounds strange, but I managed to get them somehow to lay on the ground, and my great-grandmother kind of controls them, sort of, so I feel like if
What the
anyone...
fuck?
Yeah, long story. But if anyone has a chance to maybe do something, if not just be a distraction for you, I think I may have a chance.
Well, in that case, I have one question. Have you made your peace with death?
Funnily enough, a long time ago.
Can't relate. And Matron stabs the side of this bone wall and begins to flip herself up and spider climb up the inside of this cavernous space, disappearing into the darkness of its ceiling. And you are alone behind a big wooden wall. You and Sphinx, not far from the ghosts.
Fucking immortals, am I right? Yeah, I suppose. So, now what? I am going to need you to be my eyes. At least somewhat. What is around us? What can you see? There's a wall. I think... Is there like a door in the wall? Is this where the locked door was?
and it's open. It's where the
open.
locked door was. Yeah, it's still open.
Harissa is going to just... And using her longbow as like a guiding stick, gonna just tap her way forwards and through the door. I want to be able to get to the middle bit where Selwa was. I want to get to that main square or clearing.
Yeah, I mean, you're about halfway up. You're on pretty much the opposite end of the room, right? So you met Selwa more or less in the middle, maybe slightly toward the main entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at least that far away, right? Possibly a little further than you were the initial time that you spoke with her. So it'd be a pretty big trek through no man's land.
In that case, she is going to climb onto Sphinx, because that's going to be much easier. And he's going to basically walk slowly along. Sphinx, if you see any bones, I need you to let me know. We need to try and get them into the other world if we see any. Okay. So he's going to be on the lookout for any piles of bones as they're walking carefully through the dark.
Give me a survival check.
A 25.
Sphinx, shoulders hunched and moving low, legs splayed on either side, moves you in through the door and passes the first of many barracks. And you hear the clamoring of spectral weapons as he continues to push forward. He sees some bones that are a little out of the way. If you pursue them, you are going to decrease your next survival DC by laying some of them to rest.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not, you will have to make fewer checks overall to get to where you're going.
I am going to go for the bones.
You walk up to a pile of bones that Sphinx caught out of the corner of his eye that seemed like maybe a couple of femurs, maybe a hip bone, and as he gets closer, he realizes that it is sort of the haphazard resting site of at least 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Piled up next to a campfire, dropped as they were slain.
Harissa is going to slide off of Sphinx and feel around and kind of find these bones. You know how you're very gingerly kind of reaching out for something because you don't know what it's going to feel like or what it is, and you're like, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, and she kind of tenderly kind of touches them. She's like, right, okay. All right. And she quickly kind of pulls out a dagger and just starts scratching into the ground to basically get low enough to where Jonathan has sunk down enough that it opens up into the nether underneath, so she can put the bones in the hole.
Dagger shaving curls of bone off of this floor, and you dig and you dig, and eventually you hear Sphinx kind of give you a little nudge that this vaporous purple nether has pooled into the shallow hole you've made.
Does the purple haze give off any kind of glow that I can see that it's there?
No, but only because you use the word glow. You can see it, but it is not because of light.
What is it?
It is the same experience of being in that nether space. There is no light in that place, but somehow your brain makes the space visible.
From what Sphinx has kind of told her, or either sort of I've inferred from his feelings of how many people are roughly in this pile, Harissa is going to gently sort of like move the bones into the hole that it's newly been created. whisper sort of thank yous and sorries to them as she's wants to, as respectfully as possible, throw these things in a hole. You know what I mean? Just sort of like move them in and then gets back on Sphinx and move on.
And with that, I think we're going to jump back to June.
How dare you? How dare you speak those words to me? You are not him.
I never wanted this for you, sweetie.
Stop calling me that.
You could go home. Isaac will keep you safe.
I can keep myself safe. I can keep my friends safe.
He puts his hands up.
I'm sure you can. But not if you keep carrying on like this. There's only one way this ends, Juniper.
Yeah?
Unless you make a different choice.
She'll slowly start to put down her staff and take a step closer to him. When my daddy was alive, there were a lot of choices he wanted me to make. And I didn't make most of them. I didn't do what he asked me to most of the time. And I regret putting that on him. The choices I'm making right now, I know they're right. And I'm not going to change my mind. So who, and she'll pick up her staff and poke him in the chest, are you?
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
I get a +0 to this.
I didn't listen to my dad when he was alive. So what makes you think?
That's a 7.
He reaches out and he grabs the end of your quarterstaff and just kind of holds it to his own chest for a moment.
Whatever you think I am, June. Whatever you think this is, you're probably right. You know, I've never been one for the books, the stories, your mother's highfalutin metaphysical discourse. All I know is I want you safe. And that means you have to go home.
She'll kind of soften a little bit and her face kind of drops because she's looking at her dad. And one of her biggest regrets was she truly believes that she caused her father so much grief and even more pain when her mother left and by her leaving. But she truly believes that her dad would back her up in the choices that she's making and the choices that her mother made. So she'll soften for a second, kind of let that settle over her. My home is wherever I need to be. And she will stunning strike.
Yes!
Against whatever the fuck this thing is.
Roll it.
Damn right, June. That's right.
My
That's what I'm talking
home
about.
is wherever I need to be. Oh my
I loved it.
God.
That's going to be a 24.
Go ahead and actually, I'm going to save for stunning. What's your DC?
Oh, it's 15.
This thing, whatever it is, seizes in place and then sloughs off your father's visage and stands over you, the blood vine golem that you have come to know.
I thought you, of all people, would listen to reason.
I don't listen to fucking maniacs. Who are you?
Ooh. Oh shit. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how mad this guy is.
I'll roll for it.
Pretty.
I don't know if this will help, but can I do extract aspects? She's looking
No,
at
but you can
this
do the truth thing. You could do the fucking truth thing.
Extort truth?
Extort truth. You could do the fucking truth
Okay.
thing on that hit. Is that a save?
It's a charisma saving throw of DC 15.
Do you burn the bond when you ask that question?
Yes, and I would be willing to burn extra bond.
It's fine. You're doing all of this so quickly that I'm just gonna let you catch him off guard if you spend the resource. He hovers over you, and without realizing that you have a bond on his throat just wrapped in your fist, you give it a tug, and he says,
I am the one who killed your fucking father!
and then he leans back, realizes what he just said, and vanishes.
Shh. During that time before she, like, as soon as she heard that, she went for the bond blade and had it out like she was about to cut that bond.
Oh, dang.
Oh, no.
Was I holding his bond?
Yeah.
I just saw Sam make an angry face that I never saw her make before.
Ever.
She.
The reason I was asking about the bond is everybody's bond is a little bit different. I don't know if this was this guy's bond or if it was just the creatures that it was projecting himself into, but I want to memorize that.
Okay. Yeah. I will say that you do that. You can look for that pattern. It's familiar to you.
And she'll crumple to the ground.
You just absolutely sink into yourself. And with that, we are going to jump back to Isaac.
Man, I hope that guy knows I was completely bullshitting the whole time. I gotta ask these guys what's going on here. Freaking plants talking to me, asking me questions.
Isaac, you're muttering to yourself in this kind of open monologue as you walk through a, sort of...
Literally, I'm talking to one of the statues.
Yeah. You're walking through basically the Isaac Parthenon, and you're kind of glancing around, and you really, it doesn't sink in until you're kind of in it how visceral this space has become, how much each of these statues is carved from bone and tortoise shell, and how blood burbles up from fountains into pools. And you're filled with a sense of disease about the morbidity of this space as you arrive at your first door. As you explore this fortress, you are going to be rolling d20s. I will consult the result of that on a little table,
Consult the bones.
and that will dictate what is on the other side of the door. You are looking for several things.
Okay.
It would be great if you could find the reliquary. It would be great if you could find the temple for the infection therein. It would also be great if you could find a way back to any of your allies. It could be any of those things or more. So please go ahead and give me that d20.
16.
16. All right, on a 16. Go ahead and roll me another, we'll say d6.
3.
Okay. You pull open one of these doors
Hello?
and kind of poke your head in. And you're in your office.
Ah, finally, something that makes sense out here. Okay.
I'm unconvinced about that, Isaac. Oh, and getting out of your office chair is Haris Al-Zaroon.
What you doing down here?
I honestly haven't the foggiest fucking idea. Where the hell are we? What the hell is going on?
Okay, relax. All right, this is a regular day out with the crew. Okay, first off, and I run over to my chair. I check its balance.
I'm not even going to have you roll for this. It absolutely collapses.
Okay. Damn it. All right.
Why did that only happen when you sat on it? I've been sitting in that chair for an uncountable number of hours.
Okay, first off, uncountable
I tried to keep count.
of the hours.
Yes.
How are you keeping that time? Moving on. Okay, we're trying to find specific areas of Jonathan so we can keep him from going away forever. Have you noticed anything?
I haven't been able to leave this room. And you turn around and you see that
just use that door over
there isn't a door on this side of things. So there's an open section of the wall, and you can see the outside door on the far section of the wall. But if you were to close it, it would just be flat wall. There'd be no way out of here.
Okay. Can I use Divine Sense to assist in trying to figure out a way out of this room?
You can just leave the room. You left the door open. You and Horace can just walk back out into your mind fortress, right? In doing so, basically the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to give you advantage on your next D20 roll to find your next room.
Ignore all this out here. You know, bad choices in life. But if you don't make choices, you don't grow. All right, let's get going. And
Isaac, what in the fuck is this eldritch horror of an establishment?
Probably,
Is that blood? Are we in the fucking Stephen King novel? What the hell is going on?
Horace, okay. Let me just tell you something, as you're just judging me as an individual right now. It's not cool, first off. And then second, how all the skeletons in your closet,
All right. Mr. Spinks and I have been talking a lot about boundaries and judging others, and it's a reasonable assertion. So.
You know what? We're in a hostile situation, and I'll let that one go because of the situation we're in.
Fucking take inspiration from your father.
All right. Wait. Where's Safra?
Oh, she went off with the matron to go save Jonathan.
She's still in Jonathan.
That I know of.
All right. That's something. All right, we'll go find the others, huh?
Mm-hmm. I don't have that spell, by the way, the bloop spell. I only got
Didn't
that.
think you would. That seemed to have something to do with the fucking sword. All right, let's go.
I found your dad. He ain't dying on Isaac's watch. I got one healing spell, lay on hands left, and I will give it to him.
Guard.
Yes.
You walk into the guard-shaped hole in the front of this building.
This way, pancake.
You find yourself in a impossibly long hallway, and there are doors on either side forever.
Guard is gonna walk like 10 feet. Pancake. Let me just make sure this isn't more nonsense from whatever that guy is. And I'm just gonna hit one of the doors with the axe to see if it's like a dumb illusion that's gonna disappear, or if it's actually
It's a real door. You thunk your axe into the stone. Probably not great for the axe, but, you know, there it is.
I kind of try to pull it out. It gets stuck for a second. And then I'll give Pancake a big thumbs up.
He gives you, like, a one-armed salute.
I'll open that door.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d20.
13.
Guard, you open the door, and inside it is dark, somehow darker than the hallway that you're currently in, because it's real darkness. Mm-hmm. And you realize that you are looking in through the back of the crate that you were moved around in the Imperial Palace at the beginning of your memory.
Can I see out of it or no?
You can see through the slats just a little bit. There's like a little bit of light.
Am I in the palace or am I somewhere else?
You're ostensibly in the palace.
Do I hear anything?
Give me a perception check.
18.
You hear just like general office-y kind of murmuring, people moving around, shuffling scrolls.
Is Pancake with me?
Murmured conversation. Pancakes is with you. You also hear from at your feet. Oh, hi, guard.
Reevesy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay, the team's together again.
I'm really glad somebody opened that door. I guess I didn't know it was a door.
We traded out. Bartleby had to go, but we got Pancake. We're back at the palace. I shouldn't have jumped out that window. Let's go kill the Emperor. I'm gonna kick the thing open. I'm just gonna go swinging my axe and anything that I can see. We're at the palace, baby. Emperor time. Pancake, Reevesy, let's change the world.
Hey, guard.
Yes.
Can you please roll me 8 attack rolls?
8?
What?
Yeah, sure. With my weapons?
Hell
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I mean, reckless, of course, right?
Just tell me if any of them are under 12.
None of them will be under 12.
Or if you crit on any of them, that's also useful.
No crits, nothing under 12.
Okay, guard, you step into this room. You just walk in, you put your boot into the chest of a fucking bureaucrat. He just goes into a fucking bookshelf. The bookshelf falls on him. He's dead. Blood goes everywhere. You like ballet sweep your axe, cut a woman in half. You are just murdering your way through this office full of people. You
Grabbing people by the heads, crushing their heads, throwing their bodies through other people.
Using one of them as a shield as like the only person with a dagger comes up and tries to stab you and just gets him in the back of the fucking shoulder. You absolutely lay fucking waste to this room. And you turn around and you see Pancakes has ripped someone's head off, and Reevesy is just like, "Ah!" and stings someone with his spear. And that person, like, their skin goes kind of pallid, and you can, like, see
It's not swelling up.
I rolled a nat 20 for Reevesy.
What were the odds?
And this person falls to the ground dead, and Reevesy is just like, ah, ah, ah,
I've never killed a man before.
You need to lie low for a while.
all right. Okay, good. Now what?
Everybody have all their hit points.
Yeah.
Time for the next room.
And you look around, and there are no doors and no windows in this room.
Huh. Where would the door normally... Do I see where the door would be?
No, it's just flat wall. It's the exact same as in Isaac's office, where there's not really like there wasn't a door out until Isaac opened the door.
I have good news and I have bad news. The good news? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a lot. I'm gonna probably be having dreams about that for a long time.
Excellent, excellent dreams. The bad news? I'm not sure this is a real room.
You mean we killed those people for nothing?
I'm not sure those were people.
So we should feel no remorse.
I think you should feel however you want.
I would have anyway.
How do we...
You can still get back out the way you came in.
Okay, this definitely isn't a real room. So you can still be proud of what you've accomplished, but you shouldn't be proud of killing a lot of people because I don't think you actually did.
I'm gonna be honest, that's a load off my conscience.
Reevesy, it's really fine to kill people.
I mean, that's a complicated assertion from like a theological perspective, a moral perspective. There's a lot of context you gotta bring to that, right?
Yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the mid-roll, read by the one and only Emily Greymore. I know you're asking where Patrick is, but don't worry, he's safe. While I'm here, I am going to remind you all that for the next 3 episodes, so over the next 6 weeks, we will be airing Small Gods Scatter instead of the main campaign. And listen, I know what you're saying, why are we interrupting such a good thing, especially with the... you'll find out. In Small Gods Scatter, we take a look back at the history of the Taniyn with the incredible Sadie Pasley, the amazing Nick Plaisance, and myself, with Patrick throwing dragons and siege engines at us. It'll all make sense, I promise. Now it's time to do some thank yous. We have some new patrons, we have our rally defenders, and we have a special group of people to thank as well. And you'll find out why later, but we don't have time at the end of this episode to do any of this, so we're doing it now. So a big thanks to our brand new patrons, Jeffrey Green, Alex Lewis, and Caitlin Gunther. Now a big thank you to our steadfast rally defenders, Darlene Wallace, Derek Silverstone, ElderBarry, GamerTube HD, Icewind Gale, Lord Dreamer, Lucas Carter, Michael McFarlane, Patty, Randolph Jenkins, and Reshi Snivy. Now, last but certainly not least, a very special thank you to these people in our community who helped contribute their amazing voices to the Taniyn Dirge, which you will hear at the end of this episode. So, OricamiArt, RefractedGrove, Soup, Billdow, ElderBarry, TheKojisHere, Silent Bard, ACLawrence, JustMay, Rat, Marie, Vivi, and Sadie Pasley, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making this the amazing thing that it is. We put out a call to the community, and my goodness, did you answer. I'm overwhelmed, and it's incredible. Thank you so, so much. I hope you enjoy it when you hear it at the end. But now, let's get back to the second part of this episode.
Harissa,
Yes.
can I get you to roll me another survival check, please?
I got 16.
That is a much worse roll.
Yes, it is!
You jump back on Sphinx and start to wind your way through this encampment, and you find yourself at the boathouse, and Sphinx sees some bones out of the corner of his eye, kind of tugs in a direction. You allow him to go. He winds you over to the bones, and you hop off and begin digging again. And then you feel a hand on your shoulder, ice cold, weightless, and yet somehow still impossibly heavy. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw. DC 13.
Nope. A 7.
You feel this thing start to push into you, and it doesn't quite have purchase yet. How do you react?
Saphra doesn't move. She's crouched down. She feels the hand. Sphinx, however, he sees what's happening and also feels what's happening and tries to basically get in the way, like move his body into the space of whatever this is that's kind of behind Harissa.
I will let you take the help action on this if you want to roll another die for the wisdom save.
Okay. A dirty 20.
He puts himself in front of this ghost, rears up on his hind legs, eyes ablaze, and the ghost retreats for a beat.
With all her force, Saphra digs down into the ground and like tries to tear a scar through it to quickly like just push. She's hoping whatever is that's near her is what she's dealing with in this moment, like they're close to what it is.
Give me a religion check.
A 15.
You sink your dagger in deep into this bone and drag a trench into it. And you feel the ground quake slightly and then settle. As you sweep the bones in, you see the ghost shake its head. And in an ancient and broken Taniyn that you barely understand, blink, realize what has happened, and say, think. And it disappears. But that quake reminds you that time is running thin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am going to ask you to please roll me a d20 for Matron's search.
All right, I'm using an actual D20. I'm going to roll physical because I don't trust D&D Beyond anymore. I don't trust this dice either. I got an 8.
I knew it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It might
Yeah,
not...
Craig said earlier that I'm the one who's cursed,
Yeah.
and it's actually accurate, yes.
I'm sorry. The truth is revealing itself.
Something happens, but you're not around to see it. Matron finds something, but you don't.
She's like, ooh, a bug.
Matron has not made any progress to your knowledge, and the earthquakes are coming. What do you do?
Harissa is going to get back on Sphinx, and now we are beelining for that middle. As much as I want to be able to do something with all of these bones, there's no more time. And if Jonathan sinks any further, they'll be there anyway. Saphra is heading forward, and as she does, she gets a kind of a hint of a memory of Rosa, and she remembers when people did die, and we had a pyre for these people when they did die. Rosa would always recite a sort of Taniyn sort of poem or song or just like chant. And it just comes flooding back to her all of a sudden. And as she's walking through with Sphinx, she just starts muttering it under her breath. Tread lightly, they are close, my dear, where the trees did grow. Ring the bell that's in their hearts underneath the snow. All their bright and burning souls, now tarnished with rust, they that once were strong and brave have fallen to dust. Look inside your heart and soul, the flame inside your chest. Light your fire and ring a bell so that they may rest. And she just like starts kind of like saying it over and over and over again as she starts just like heading into the center, and it just starts getting louder, and she doesn't realize she's saying it louder and louder as she's starting heading in to the middle.
Percy, you start making your way through the center of this space, and you are blind to the reactions of the ghosts around you. At first, they don't necessarily notice you're still being quiet, and they are not as perceptive as they may have been in life. But as you continue moving, you start getting louder and louder in your refrain. They are drawn to you. And what they see, and what Sphinx sees, but what Harissa does not see, is that the filigree on the helm of authority glows the red of your tattoo, and moving in wide circles around you and Sphinx, echoing your chants, is a spectral Komodo dragon. And one by one, these Taniyn soldiers bend the knee.
Oh shit.
And you close to the center of this room. And Sphinx points out that at the center of the room is a skull.
Saphra slips off his back and, still sort of mindlessly, but just kind of humming this thing, just seems to home in on where it is without really fumbling, and cradles it in one arm as, again, just stabs into the ground just over and over again until she starts to see but not see this purple thing welling up underneath.
I need you to please roll me a d20. Before you do, you've turned the tables here. You have established your presence as an authority to these people, and they are letting you pass. But as you dig into Jonathan, he is going to recoil. And if he sinks another level, you and Matron will be lost in the nether. You were rolling to hit a 14. These are wisdom saves, and that 14 was calculated against the +3 from Isaac, who's no longer in Jonathan. The number is now a 17.
Oh my god.
Matron has one resistance reaction left.
Okay. Alright. My question to all of you. Should I use a real dice or a fake dice?
Oh,
At
God.
this
this
point,
for this D20.
it doesn't matter,
It doesn't
bro.
You are
matter.
the
It
captain
don't
of your
matter.
ship.
Yeah. We're all sinking already, so it's like, yeah, it's your... No, I'm kidding.
Alright. Okay. I'm going for the real dice.
This has to be a 17 on the
Audience.
die.
Oh my god.
Just roll an 18.
It's a 16?
Oh.
Do you have any way to juice this wisdom save?
Let me see what I got. I have some sap. I don't know if sap will do anything in this instance.
Fuck, you could try.
Lather
Throw some
yourself
sap
up in
on
it.
that.
Just...
Do you want to try?
Yeah, fuck it.
How
Fuck
are
it.
you using the sap?
It's hard going, getting through this bone
Yeah.
with this
And you
thing.
can feel Jonathan start to lean to one side as he sinks further.
I fumble in my side, like in my satchel, in my pocket or whatever it is. I feel a vial. I pull it out, pop the cork, with my thumb and just chug, and then do one final stab in to the ground.
Harissa, you feel this sap burn your throat. I need you to make me a con save. This is a relatively low DC. It's DC 10.
Oh, okay. I got an 11.
Okay,
So...
that's all you need. That's all you need. Harissa, this sap, you actually see radiant fire burning off of your tattoo. You have 1 casting of guidance.
Oh, shit. Can I apply that to the 16?
Which makes it a 17.
Yes!
Which makes it a save.
Yes!
You literally start to slide away from this position as Jonathan pitches into the nether. You see a pool of it forming at the far corner of this room that is now substantial and deep. And you dig your dagger in to hold on, and using the force of your body weight, drag a trench that you can push this skull into. And your grandmother's ghost grabs your hand, lifts you to your feet, and says, "What you seek is in my hut." And she vanishes.
All right. Wherever that is.
Sphinx is going to be able to recognize this. It's the big central chief's yurt in this space.
Amazing. Are we still pitched to one side? Are we still at a hefty diagonal?
When you scramble to your feet, you can get purchase. It's substantial, but it's
45.
not 45 degrees, right? Like you aren't guaranteed a sliding. You just were so into the motion of the thing that you just lost your footing. But with that, we are going to jump.
Thank God.
Hey, June.
Hey, Pat. So nice to see you here.
How you doing? How long does June spend crumpled into herself?
Not long. I think she kind of takes a moment to, suck back her tears, and I'm so done crying. I'm not crying anymore. And she hefts herself up and looks over to her mind castle that is a giant forest.
That is now entirely constructed of petrified bone.
Does it look like the trees in Yellowstone?
The petrified forest?
The petrified. Yeah. She'll walk over.
You finish walking down these switchbacks and see that these columns of bone lead into the darkness.
Yeah, she'll take a deep breath. I'm so done with these bloody motherfuckers, and she'll walk in.
Go ahead and give me a d20. As you start to see little passageways that you could slip into beyond every corner.
2.
Oh, June.
It's fine. It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be great.
Gonna have
it's
a
fine.
wonderful
Nothing
time.
bad's gonna happen. That's all right. It's okay. Yeah. I got all of those bad things out of the way for you, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine.
June, you approach, again, one of these little halls, one of these little outcroppings off of this main space. And before you can put yourself into it, you see a hand the size of your whole torso wrap around the base of this tree. It is made of twisted blood vines. It looks a bit like one of the Myconid hands, but much, much, much bigger.
Not again.
And it pulls itself forward, and I'm just going to give this to you. You recognize this from research and conversations with Mel. This is an Elder Spore Myconid Bloodvine Golem.
I'm gonna
Tickle it.
I'm gonna try to go. Ooh, oh no, wait! I'm around a bunch of trees, aren't I?
Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
I'm gonna.
When the GM realizes.
Hell yeah! I mean, they're petrified, but they're still trees. So
gonna say, I'm so fucking sick of this. And she's gonna run head first
Yeah.
at the closest tree
Yeah.
at full speed with the intention of coming out of the tree behind this big thing. And she's gonna activate her tree strider bracers. So as she's fully like sprinting forward, her whole body turns blue, kind of like her bond projection.
Yeah.
And zips in through the tree and goes through with that little dash of blue light behind her.
You phase into this tree, grab a hold of a string of its bond running up its core, pull yourself up and throw yourself out the other side and land in Riley Trent's office.
Is she in here?
Doesn't look like it. But you haven't really investigated the space, which you could take a moment to do.
Yeah. And just now out of habit, she's also going to throw out her senses to see if she can feel anybody else's bond.
Yeah, go ahead and give me investigation or perception, your choice.
Say 21.
Trent's not here. You would know. If Trent was here, she would have known that you were here faster than you would have known whether or not she was here, and she would have made herself know she's not here. But someone is here. You see a familiar wibbly bond tying you to the rows of books. You make your way over and see Scrumpy sitting cross-legged on the floor, reading.
Scrumpy?
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jude. Oh, God. Oh, my heart. Oh, Lord. One moment. Okay. You're all right, old man. Oh, Jude, you scared the hell out of me.
This is Scrumpy's bond, right? I recognize it as...
Yeah. Say, Jude, where the hell are we?
At first I thought it was, like, the safe place in my mind. But I don't know what's happened to it. And I don't know why we're in Trent's office.
The safe place in your mind that you go to when you need a safe place is someone else's office?
I didn't think it was going to be like that, especially Trent's office, but
Who is Trent?
she was like my mom's boss.
Grand Matron
But-
of
Yeah.
Agravar, yeah. No, I didn't know her name. Why the hell are we in
Yeah.
her office?
I don't know. I wonder if there's something here that I didn't want to forget, or...
So you're telling me that we're in your memory right now? I mean, I've been here for a while, so I don't know.
You haven't been able to get out? You didn't just walk out the door?
And he gestures.
No door.
Oh. Well, what have you been reading real quick? Because you look kind of lost in thought when I came in.
I've been trying to get more information about reincarnation and gods.
I figured while I was here it might be useful, and
Most of these texts are political, they're ledgers, and some interesting history about the rise of the Empressar, but not a ton about gods. I'm starting to think we might need to find a library that's a little more supernatural.
There was a book that Saphira and I found, The Habits of Old Gods, and she'll go over to the bookshelf and the desk and try to look
just you
for it.
reach for any book and it's the book you want.
Oh, that's handy. And I'll ask him, did you see this one?
No, I can't say that I did.
She's going to open it up and flip to the pages where it started first talking about the boy king, the warrior girl, like all of that stuff that goes into Aurelius.
I recognize that one name, Aurelius.
What did you learn about him? Because I wasn't able to find, there was like a whole lot of stuff missing about him, or about them. And even I sent a letter to Melmanon asking, and he couldn't find anything.
So familiar.
And he is like trying to summon up this information, His eyes flash blue, and he says,
Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Oh. Can I see? Does it? It looks like the pieces that were erased.
it's exactly like Hank not believing that your mother was from Raleigh. It's the same thing.
Well, let's just keep it in mind.
I'll see if I can drum it up. Hey, old brain box ain't quite what it used to be, huh?
I'm starting feeling a little bit like that myself. In my wizened age. Just for like shits and giggles, before we leave, I want to tear out the page about the tiny bit there is about Aurelius.
Yeah, absolutely.
And put it in my pocket.
You taking the elevator to get out of here?
A magic elevator?
It doesn't seem to be working for Scrumpy, but you can use it.
Yeah. Are you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for 3.5 millennia, so seems like it'd be a good time to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's get out of here. And she'll boop 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 beep 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 on the elevator.
And we fade to black. Isaac. I think I said that I was going to give you advantage for your divine sense.
Copy that.
I am actually going to give you advantage for having an NPC. You're going to get the help action. I'm going to give you a +5 for your divine sense. So you got advantage and a +5.
And I'm rolling what?
D20 for your next room.
Higher is a 15, so 20.
You just walk right across the hall and throw open the door, and it is the temple to Jonathan with the bell and the infection.
You. And I try and smack it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
19 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Only 7 points of damage.
That is unfortunately not enough to kill this thing in one blow.
And try to swing
I
again.
need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
19.
You hear in the back of your head,
No, not worth it.
I swing again.
yeah, go ahead.
A 9 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and roll me damage. It's fucking AC 5.
It was on the 7 and it rolled to the 1. So only 5 points of
I hate
damage.
5 points of damage plus, what did you roll before?
The 7?
Yeah, that's enough. You hack at this thing, feel something in the back of your head, decide not to bother with you, and then hack at this thing again. And it comes away clean.
Another day safe. All right.
We did a great job. That was top tier of us. That was honestly really
We are
heroic.
kind of heroes, man.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with
I'm
you.
feeling it really in this moment with you
Good.
right
You
now,
know
my
what? You
friend.
deserve that. You showed up a little late to the situation, and you know what? Your daughter had reason to hate you. I'm be real with you. As a bastard
not wrong.
myself, you pretty much are one. But at the end of the game, you're coming up strong. I'm be honest with you, buddy.
Isaac, you don't need to tell me this if Safra is going to. What happened in the cave?
A lot happened in the cave. A lot of stuff that she needs to talk to her father about. And I need you, and I'll put a hand on his shoulder. I need you to be that father that she didn't have.
She has always deserved it.
Are you up to that task, big old hero?
Well, if we ever get out of this hellhole alive, I suppose I will be more than happy to rise to that occasion. I'm not loving our odds about that, though, you know?
I mean, okay, I think there's like 7 or 12 more of these things we got chopped down, and then we're good to go.
I thought Safra said there were only 4.
If I'm being honest with you, I haven't been keeping count. It's mostly just been like, I've been pushing forward.
Just follow the path. Yeah, I feel you.
just-
No, you get the tunnel vision sometimes when
And
you're
then
in
when
the
it
zone.
finally stops, it's like, I did my task. Good job, team.
We are going to go ahead and jump to Guard. All right, Guard. Where are you at? What's happening with you? What's going on with Guard?
living my way downtown, moving fast, punching people,
walking
and
down the-
shopping, stopping at people place, and I'm sorry, stupid nether. I think that, okay, quite frankly,
Yeah.
the nether,
Yeah.
the afterlife,
Yeah.
the material plane,
Yeah.
these spaces don't hold that much of a difference to guard in the
Sure.
same way that I think they do to people that spend most of their time in one of those three places.
Yeah, yeah,
Or at
yeah.
least most of their conscious time
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
of
yeah.
those three places.
Absolutely.
As soon as it clicks to guard that we are not in the material plane anymore, guard looks to Reevesy and looks to Pancake. This is good practice, but we need to get back to the real world.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
All right. Well, I suppose we try doors until we find one that doesn't lead to more Mind Palace, and I kick open a door.
You're going to get advantage on this D20 roll off of Reevesy.
It's a 19 and a 1.
Okay. On a 19, the next door you open is dark. And Pancakes kind of moves around your leg and goes, "Ah, the reliquary. Thank you." And wanders inside.
Reevesy, come on.
All right.
As we walk into the room with the reliquary, Pancake, how long have you been in charge of watching the reliquary?
507 years.
Exactly.
Do you remember who asked you to be in charge of the reliquary, or if it was a decision you made?
I was not asked. It was my decision, but I was not me.
Are you you now?
I believe so.
Do you want to continue to look after the reliquary?
As long as it requires looking after. Yes.
I'm not sure it does.
It is my understanding that should these artifacts fall into the hands of anyone other than the Taniyn, it could be disastrous for the Eastern Wields.
The Eastern Wields are already in disaster. Perhaps it is time that the reliquary is not kept hidden. Perhaps it is time that the reliquary is used.
This would fall within my purview. The reliquary is a tool. The items within it are weapons to be used in defense of the Eastern Wields.
Do you care about protecting the Eastern Wields, or do you care about protecting the reliquary?
My primary objective is to protect the reliquary. However, as is true in the universe, sometimes fluidity is necessary.
I feel like I'm talking to myself from season 1. When we all finish gathering up, I think it would be good for you to think about what it means to protect the reliquary and why it is what you do. And depending on what you think, I would like you to join us, and I would like to take everything from the reliquary to be used, perhaps in the Eastern Wields, or perhaps against those who have destroyed the Eastern Wields.
I would be amenable to this adaptation.
Think about it. It is a large decision to change the thing that you are doing.
I will consider that. In the meantime, I would like to take inventory, as the reliquary has been through a lot. And with that, we are going to jump back to Harissa. I need you to please make me...
Oh,
We're going
yes.
to do two things here. First things first, roll me a d20 for Matron's search.
Okay, 6.
Matron's just like, oh, this is the hero that is supposed to save everything.
Listen, it's Matron that's failing, ain't me.
Emily,
Yes.
I am giving you world building control in this moment.
Oh, thank God for that.
Would you all have conveyed to Matron the meta problem in exactly the same way that Guard was just talking about the meta problem of like, hey, if you're trying to protect the reliquary so that you can protect the Eastern Wields, like you need to use the reliquary, right? Would you have explained the meta problem, any of you, to Matron of if Jonathan goes, it doesn't, the seed won't matter.
it won't have a world to exist in.
I think so, yes, because she would have seen us do the one that was in the chamber that she was in.
Yeah.
And just be like, we have to get the other ones.
Okay.
Like, otherwise Jonathan's, like, fucked.
Harissa.
Yes.
You hear a splash.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
A big splash, little splash.
A matron-sized splash.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so Sphinx is taking me to the main hut thing,
You're
which
just
I'm
booking
assuming isn't that far away from where we
you
are.
can get there really quickly, yeah.
Yeah. What does he see when we're in there?
He sees the trappings of leadership. There are, divans and cushions and things and plans laid out that are ash weathered, a dead fire in the center of the room, and in the far back wall, kind of pushing out through the bone, is one of these pustules.
Sphinx, light the fire, and he's going to get that fire going so I can see the pustule. Now, go and find out what happened to Matron. And he's going to zip over to the splash.
Okay.
I am going to try and fuck up this thing that I can now see.
Go ahead and roll for me.
Fuck it up.
Okay.
Shoot it.
Shoot it in
Shoot
the
it hard.
Are you going to shoot it?
kind of face. Yes.
Okay.
A 17. Does that hit?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
15 damage.
It ignites into flame.
Is it dead? Is it gone?
This pustule is dead. I need you to make me a wisdom save.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Seeing this fucking thing shrivel up in front of me and I'm just like, yes. I got a 10 on my wisdom save.
Okay. And we are going to resolve that momentarily. Because just as you succumb, the blood vines sneaking their way up your brainstem, we see Matron. Matron is at the bottom of this acid lake, heavy enough to simply sink, and she is quickly dissolving. And her claws are ripping in, trying to destroy this thing growing out of the bottom of the lake. And at one point, her left hand just kind of fully dissolves down to nubs, and she starts taking her needlepoint foot and jamming it into this thing to try to break it off and destroy it. And right as it's about to separate, her skull dissolves off of her head, and she whips her foot around, slices it, and then falls back into the acid, free-floating in her last moments before death. Harissa, you are on the outskirts of your childhood village. You can see it dotted on the horizon, just a little ways away. And from beneath your feet, the ground shakes a little bit, and a stone plinth kind of pushes up from the sand and pushes you off your feet. You kind of land on it in a seat. And from the sand to stretches a knotted plait of blood-red vines that congeal into a recognizable human form. I am tired of pretense. Your compatriots proved uncooperative. And I have very few chances left in this moment.
Sorry, no, continue.
My options for dealing with you have been limited. At this distance, across these plains, spread as thin as I have been spread. I cannot simply smite you the way that I would like. However, you have something of mine that I want. And in this moment, I do hold all of the cards. Because you, Safra Harissa, let me in.
So I want to start by saying, you say you are sick of pretense, and yet you are dancing around this bush like a giddy teenager around a campfire
Give me
at spring
the
break.
seed! You insolent child.
Do you think I have it right now? Do you see it on my person? It's pretty big, it's hard to miss.
I would have thought you capable of further planning than that.
She's gonna cross her legs, like, just like one over the other, and just kind of like sit back in whatever chair she's in right now.
You're like in a rock that's been pulled up from the sand.
I think I have all the power here. You don't even know where it is. You thought I had it? You came to me?
I did not think that you... I know the insolent fucking guardian has it!
Oh, awfully testy.
He was stronger than you, you know. They all were.
If you are trying to get a rise out of me, I'm afraid all of my anger, passion, all of that just flowed away in an icy river a couple of days ago.
Ice cold.
That's
Ice
so good.
cold.
Oh, that was good. Sorry.
So why don't you tell me who you are instead of hiding behind that ungodly mask that you wear? You're so scared and so frightened. You come to us in these dreams and strange places, hidden behind whatever that is.
I am going to explain something to you, and I am going to explain it once. In this moment, at the other end of this infection that had been long planned, the moment of weakness, you have made yourself vulnerable. Should I decide, you will die.
As I said to Matron but a few moments ago, I made peace with my death a long time ago. You can do what you want to me, it won't change the outcome.
Does Saffra believe this?
I think now she honestly does. After everything, especially in that, seeing all the ghosts, putting them to rest, I think she genuinely does now.
Hey, Emily.
Yeah.
How much do you trust me?
We'll get you if you die. It's so easy, dude. Don't even worry about it. If you die, we're going to literally pull you out of the underdark of the shadows.
Fine. Listen, audience, I married this man, so I obviously trust him to some extent.
Gross, icky cooties, gross
Icky,
cooties.
gross, ew. You know.
Oh my god, Ugu.
Everything is surface level. We don't have real relationships. We don't talk about real relationships.
Fuck me up, fam.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check, if you'd be so kind.
I got a 3, so that's great.
You are proving to be as obstinate as I feared you would be. But you have been most helpful in the past, so I will give you one last chance. I will let you leave here. I will leave Jonathan. We can end this if you bring me the seed. I will give way for all of the living gods. Demoiselle, Sligo, even your little pig friend I had a recent run-in with, if you bring me the seed. If you do not, then I have no use for you.
You sound like my mother. It looks like we are done here. Sapphire's gonna stand up and just wait for whatever is gonna happen next.
Your mother was the only worthwhile fighter in your whole village.
And he snaps his fingers, and you die. Saphra, we see you in your childhood, a moment remembered that you have not thought about in what seems like lifetimes. And I would actually like you to please describe for me this remembered funeral.
As the memory starts coming together, at first, Saphra, all she can see is colours as things come into focus. She can see reds and oranges, pinks, and then a deep blue as this fire comes to life in front of her, backlit by a brilliant sunset. As the night starts to creep in and this funeral is taking place, this giant pyre, everyone gathered around, she holds onto Sphinx tightly, just clutching this doll as she's watching all of this that she doesn't really understand yet. It's the first person she's seen dead. She doesn't know. She's starting to know what that means. As the adults and the older kids are sort of singing and chanting this song as this body is being taken by the flames and sent up into the night sky, she's finds herself talking to Sphinx to try and kind of understand what's happening, to reconcile with what she's saying. It's okay, Mr. Sphinx. It's... That person is just... They're being set free. You know? They're going into the sky. Look, you can see the smoke going. That's them. That's like their soul. And Grammy, she says that when the soul is released, it gets a chance to come back again some other time. They may not remember us or anything, but they'll get to come back and see us anyway, you know. You're not allowed to go, though. You're not allowed to go on the fire or anything, Sphinx, okay? You have to stay with me. You promise me, okay? It's okay, Saphra. I will always be with you. Thank you, Mr. Sphinx.